Hi there. So, my name is Patrick Reinhart. I work for Bison, a small company located in central Switzerland, working mostly for Fenoco, a company
The
better,
agrarian sector.
yeah, better known as Volk, Landi, and all those parts. And my talk with Otmar Humbel.
Yes, I work in the same office with him, and we have a few million lines of code, and currently on JDK 8, and we would like to migrate to JDK 9, and we have already started.
So, what were you trying to tell you? Or we got old style, class path, and we want to run our application on JDK 9. So that would be one part of the agenda, what you have to do or what you have to be caution of. And the second part would be if you took every part and you got it running on the class path again, and you're brave enough, go further in direction of the modules, what you may have to look out.
Exactly. At the end, we really want to have modules to encapsulate our code in different parts. But let's stay on the class path first. Yes, like every Java developer did, from JDK 5 to JDK 6, from JDK 6 to 7 to 8, just plug in the new JDK and run. Because Java is install once and run forever.
And by the way, worked in the past. So what possibly can go wrong? Well, used some internals, by the way.
No, I never did. Hey, what are you talking of?
Well, you never know. Got swing? Wanna have Windows look and feel?
Oh yes, we have.
Oh, maybe not a good idea. Or even worse, does a library that you use uses internal APIs?
Oh, no idea. How do I find out?
Well, if you got Java 8, you may heard about some compiler flags which show you already deprecated methods or classes that you shouldn't use.
And now we remember Sun and Oracle, they always told us to not use deprecated stuff.
But you know how it is when you got children. When you told them, do not use this one or do not make that one. Do they hear of you to you?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. But if you do something which is not allowed and forbidden, it's quite nice to do. But this tool will help you to find out, not you're in your own code, you can scan all the libraries you got and it lists out all the deprecated stuff which is in there. Let me show you an output, small output of a library that we use in actual production.
Okay, this is a PDF printing library. It helps to directly print PDF to the printer. And we ran JDEPs on JDK 8 on it.
On the latest version of this library, basically.
Yes.
And what do you see there?
We see internal API.
Now, what are you going to do? This is just internal. Well, class path, I heard this one unnamed module should work, I guess. JDK 8 tells me this.
Let's have a look what JDK 9 tells us with JDEPs.
Yeah, let's see. Well, still internal API, but oh, removed. What that does mean?
I think they really removed the base 64 encoder.
Well, what are you going to do?
That's a library I don't control. That's even a library I paid for.
So, no tests, I guess.
We have to contact those people.
By the way, that's only one library. We got a lot more, and this output goes over and over and over. It's quite a pain. So, you have to go to overcome this first before you even think about modules. Or
This has nothing to do with modules at the moment. Just run the application. And it will crash because the base 64 encoder is simply not there. There's a replacement, of course. It tells you at the bottom line, use Java util base 64. But if you don't control this code,
you're somehow lost.
Sorry?
You're somehow lost. So, we could cheat a little bit. We could create an own jar file, create such a class like sun-misc base encoder, delegate to the real one that exists in unnamed module, could work, but one hack replaces another. So you have to wait for your library supplier to give an implementation that is not using this. And having an output from a JDK 8 or JDK, if you see that you could replace it with a JDK 1.8 feature, maybe helps them.
They can already fix it for you without migrating themselves to JDK 9. So that's good news.
So, let's go a little bit further. So all internals solved. Now we're ready. If you don't use any hacks, using reflection.
I use reflection a lot, but just to find out if this method is there, and if it's there, I call it. If it's not there, I don't call it. What's the problem?
This shouldn't be a problem. If the class is not there, you don't want to find it. If the methods are there, you will find them. If you only call public methods, you can. Absolutely no problem. The problem starts if you do some special tricks, like gaining access to private, protected, non-public, let's say.
No, I never do that. I never do that. How about you? Do you use set accessible on private? Oh, whoa. Yeah, yes.
Absolutely. So, as long as you live in the class path and you put them all in the class path, no problem. If you don't call any Java classes and internals from Java without special VM flags, it won't work. Or, as we showed before, if you use a class that's no longer existing, your problem.
Did I get that right? If I can use reflection all over the place, the only thing I cannot do is reflect on private internals of the JDK.
As long as you're in the class path.
Okay. I'm still on the class path.
But as soon as one library uses an internal field or method from a JDK class, it starts to hurt. Okay. So it will break. summary, what we talked. We had class path usages, so and we're speaking strictly for class path here still. You can use JDEPs to analyze potential problems in advance. Beginning with Java 8, you got already
Some hints.
some hints, but as you know, you cannot predict the future, so it will only show those parts that at the time when Java 8 came out were deprecated, and they knew somehow that it are internal, that will be shown. You don't see any classes which have been actually removed in Java 9, so we would suggest you use JDK 9 JDEPs tool to analyze the code that you have at the moment and all your libraries you got at the moment. And that will show you exactly which things have been removed, which parts have a replacement already. It will show you also replacements which exist only at JDK 9. So those parts you have to update when JDK 9 actually comes out to work around the problem. So then...
And run it now on your application. You will be surprised about the output.
It's good to have a big monitor to see all those stuff that can go wrong.
And the stuff like this base 64 encoder, I have to replace somehow. There's no way around it. And the external libraries have to be fixed as well.
And if still the whole thing still breaks and you don't know exactly, and you just want to have the application started once, just to find out which package you have to be open. There is a switch, you can say, well, this package there, I'm going to open it for reflection. To use that, you can use the so-called kill switch, but it comes with a price.
That's the SOMA of the brave new Java JDK 9 world. Permit illegal access, and you're done.
Well, it comes with a price. And the price is a lot of logging on the console. If you do that on each call, it will be logged on the console to really bug you. That you're going to go there and either add opens and open this specific package to the unknown module, or do something about it by replacing it with a supported API. Well, I think class path checked for now.
On to real modules.
So if you are really in that stage and everything works and you're happy like a camper, let's see what could go wrong now when you try to convert your code to a module.
But one word of warning, the crystal ball is there. We don't know exactly how the module system will work out. It's still in flux, I think. So what we tell you is stuff that we think will stay.
Yeah. One is, for sure, there is a problem with so-called split packages. Here you see two libraries from our code, and you see a package name underneath there, which exists in both libraries. And this won't work with JDK 9 when you want to convert them to modules. Side note, JDEPs also, when you scan for JDK internals, will show you split packages, offending packages which comes with JDK 9. There you have already outputs. Let's say in our code there are quite a lot of XML stuff, which are in libraries as well, a copy of them, XML APIs, for example. So you see that comes with JDK and it will come with this library as well. The solution is remove that library with JDK 9 and everything works. These XML APIs, additional library you can throw away if you use JDK 9. But here you see, that's just one example that you have to get rid of before you convert them to a module.
We have written a tool for the split package scanning, and we ran it against our code, and the dot file is really impressive. So if we would show you everything, there would be a big ball of arrows and texts, and yeah, it's quite a bit of work. Our code has evolved over 20 years and many refactorings, and we moved stuff from one jar into another jar, and for backwards compatibility we had to keep the package name, so there's a lot of work ahead. Your code may be better, in a better shape, I hope.
Well, ours is almost 20 years old. What do you expect? And also a side note, if you have a module, which is already a module, and that would produce a split package issue, just for as example, we have got an external library over here that you see on top, which offends a module which is in a package which is within the JDK, as you can see here. The same thing can happen if you would use an external module, not from a JDK, and you have somehow the same packages in one of your modules. Or even worse, if you have two external modules which in common have the same package, by accident or whatever. Your VM won't start. So that you have to overcome also in the first place. And there are a lot of things that still in flux, and we cannot actually tell what in the end will come out. There are quite some discussions, like auto modules, how they should work, and there are some caveats there. If you are a library developer and you have dependencies on also other modules which do not exist at the moment, so if in that topic we don't go in details now. Just bring your application to work under the class path, I think is quite a big hurdle already. So,
and we will tell you next year if we have made it for our application. We are not there yet. It won't start. Simply.
I'm not sure if you're there next year as well, but we're going to try. So, and we have put up here some links. One is for this split package scanner tool to find out what kind of package conflicts you have already in combination with external libraries. It's on GitHub. You can give us more input as well. What's not working there is, at the moment, it doesn't take modules into account also besides the JDK itself. That we have to extend later on. But for the first run, it gives you quite a good hint on how many split packages you got in your code base.
And then there is the second one is a small repo showing some of the stuff we told you. We demo access to private stuff and so on, to deleted stuff. And the nice thing is you can run it on JDK 8, everything passes, JDK 9, boom. Nice demo effect. Some links to read if you want to read books. Both books are still in early revision, so only the first few chapters are written. But it's worth reading.
That's it, basically. Just almost in time. Any questions?
Thank you. maybe. I personally think it will be useful. Maybe I don't see the low-level details, the pros and cons, but to modularize my system, it will be very useful because I can restrict access for my consumers, which today can access everything.
If only a formal process to say if the package called internal, don't use it. But in the first place, we would be happy just to have it running on the JDK 9. So that's
my point. I mean, I know I will have to go through the same process to make my code as before. I mean, it is not by me anything.
yep. Unfortunately.
If you just wait, what will happen then? Sometime JDK 10 will come and you want to jump the train at some point in time. So that's my feeling. Just jump on the train when you are ready, but not too late.
Yeah. As if we had something like the module system and we could restrict packages from not being used and have that enforced by the VM by itself. We had. Yeah. Yeah, even internal, we have like a framework part and we have an application developer part for to just. Even then, if you have a bigger product like a CRM application that we develop, you want to restrict certain access and want to direct the user to just use the really public API parts. But somewhere you have to put the logic behind that you don't want to give away just like that. And put everything in one big package is also not a solution. Just to have package protected or default access. You're welcome.